So keep this in mind, that the major light which is falling is towards the is on the center and a bit towards your right. That is how we will have to use the colors, meaning that where the light is falling, the colors are lighter. So we will keep a lighter hue for those places. We'll do this part over here, this leaf shaped instrument, and you can see my palette. It is a watery mix, but the consistency is relatively medium. It's not very light, it can be seen, and this is the consistency of all the others, which is again relatively medium consistency. Not a lot of paint has been mixed, but adequate enough that we can see it. First we'll do this instrument. You can take orangish color or reddish color in a lighter consistency. Look, here the consistency of water is more, so we cannot see it very properly, but we need to maintain this consistency of water. This is light pink which I have taken, and you had seen my palette. This side is a bit darker. I just took red. In the objects, instruments which we have, you can use your own imagination as well, and because it is a blurred area, it is not very prominent, so you can use your imagination as well and work it out. If you do not want to do that, you can follow what I am doing. Here I am changing the design and making it easier, because it's a very narrow, small area we need to cover. This is just one layer of mapping it out, structuring, and then we'll go over this again. There was more water, so I just blotted it on tissue. Also, if you look at the reference image on the left, you will see that that is a darker area. So I'm wetting down this area. It is a bit darker and blurred as well. So when we have blurred, we can use wet on wet. I took some color after wetting this area and I'm placing it according to what I see in my reference image. Water, lot of color it looks. Okay, I'll spread it. Outlining the finger areas. Here there's the fourth finger, you have to make it like a finger, just using the same shapes which we are just doing. Nails, just round over there, and the nail, we get the nail because it is not very prominent. Nails again a small round for the nails, again a very small round for the last finger, outlining the instrument. Here this side it's still wet. Outline your nail. And the colors you have, you just give it a shape. Because this area is wet, so it will get diffused. The color will get diffused slightly, which is what we want. Dragging in the colors, dragging them out of the concentrated area. Just making a design as per the instrument. I am not completely following what's given for the instrument shapes because we need a basic structure for the instrument. And the design you can go as per your own. I'm just drawing small lines with a lighter value color. You can use any color over here. Now I'm going over and darkening the previous layer when we did the designs. These are again triangles, inverted triangle here. And curvy lines. Check out your reference. Again, this is a jewelry area. Design needn't be very prominent because it is not prominent in our reference image. Just mapping out the outline of this area. And just putting in dots. Whatever the design be, no matter how intricate, it will not be clearly visible. It is a blurred area. So I'm just putting in dots. A line. Here a line. If your dots have dried, you can use a darker hue as well, relatively darker, not very dark. When you're doing intricate work like this, try to hold your brush closer. Darkening the nails finger region again. And just creating some designs inside. I'm just making lines. Five lines on top and triangular 3 lines at the bottom. Once it dries down, you will be able to see it clearly. There's paint and water also on the brush, which makes the area relatively blurry, even though we have zoomed in. Darkening the darks. Is in this section we will do today. I'm just creating the designs. You can create your own designs in the form of lines, dots, curves, or you can follow this as well. Very light value of colors is being used here. This side we can go darker. Darkening again, previous layer dried out. Going as per the reference image, looking at it. Pause and look at your image. Just figuring out how to go about. So it's wet on wet, it's not very clear, so we will use wet on wet. Wetting my brush, dabbing it and placing a thin film of water on the area where I want to go wet on wet, because that is what I see in my reference image. Checking with reference image. You can place in yellow, orangish yellow, quinacridone gold, any of the colors, and I just looked at what shapes there are and I'm trying to figure out what shapes I have drawn and marking those in. I have little more water, it's a blur area. I'll be doing wet on wet. Placing in colors. Removing water from brush, extending. Placing water. This was too much color. Just making some shapes. Lines. Placing light yellowish color here. And continuing with that light yellowish orangish color. So we see on the right there is lighter color. The values are lighter on the right side. This area is still wet. Again creating designs, slightly curvy lines. And in here you must have drawn from your reference image. So I'm just outlining those. Continuing with the designs and just simplifying here. I'm not creating intricate designs, I'm just creating slanted lines, so that will be easier. It's a very small place. The slanted lines I'm creating here, and I'm going very light right now. Then I'm leaving out the next part and creating those slanted areas here, this side on the right again. Why I'm doing this? Why did I leave the central area? Because there's a lot of light falling over there. So when you have a lot of light, there is a shine, though the designs and shapes are not very visible, are not very prominent. This area, just making longish lines here. We'll be creating the illusion of light, so I used yellowish color over here. There was pink earlier, so yellow and pink combines to give a reddish sort of color, orangish. Just darkening this area a bit. This area is not facing the light, it is side. This is a side tilt over here. Yes, everything, all of this is time consuming, but it is equally time consuming for both you and me. Now we'll do this area. Here there are three different kinds of light. This is dark, middle, and dark toward light in the center, and relative darkness towards the bottom and towards the upper area, the hand, just below that hand. So I'm creating the shapes here as per what I have drawn. and I am looking at the reference image as well. I'm using purple here, violet, Windsor violet. Checking image. Now I'm using pink, diluted one. Checking image. There is some blurred region here, so I'm going to wet my brush, dab the excess off on tissue, and then place my water. If you can't see where your water is going, you can tilt your head right, tilt your head left. Then you will find where the glaze of water. I'm working here towards a softer shape. not a very crisp shape. Remove the excess.